Whose idea was this?
What? You actually came back? Well, alright then. Guess I'll make another episode for you. This episode, we're going to take a look at the best government institution ever created, the IRS. Now, strap in, kiddies. You're in for a wonderful little history lesson. Thought you were done with school, didn't you? The IRS was formally created and instituted along with the 16th Amendment back in 1913. The IRS now collects approximately $2.4 trillion each year and returns about $234 million. To give you an idea percentage-wise, the IRS returns less than 0.01% of the money it brings in. The first income tax ever levied was to help fund the Civil War back in 1862. It started out at 3% for people making $800 and over, which exempted most wage workers. Then, later that year, it was changed to 3% for people making between $600 and $10,000, and 5% for people making over $10,000. 2 years later, it was changed yet again to 5% for people making between $600 to $5,000, 7.5% for people making between $5,000 and $10,000, and 10% on people making more than $10,000. At the end of the war, 10% of the Union paid some form of income tax, accounting for about 21% of the war revenue, a period of about 7 years. The income tax that was created during the wartime was supposed to be temporary and eventually was cancelled. But since the government thought it was such a grand idea, they decided to try to bring it back, only for it to blow up later in their faces with another court case, Pollock versus Farmers Loan and Trust Company. Over the course of its existence, people have developed quite a disdain for it. Some people believing it's been used as a weapon against those who have bad-mouthed the government, specifically those that supported or sympathized with the Tea Party group that everyone has heard of by now at least. Needless to say, whether you believe that or not, the IRS is certainly not one of those groups of people you decide to send a Christmas card to every year.
Here's your wreath back. Now out, out, out! Bah! Humbug.
So, over the course of its existence, the IRS has probably made quite a number of bad ideas and choices. Among some of the lesser-known bad ideas the government's made through the IRS is deciding to make some training videos. Now, what's wrong with training videos? I'm not against training videos as a whole. I mean, I want someone starting a new job, or if there's some sort of new tax or regulation being rolled out, I want the IRS to know how to do their damn job. I mean, I don't want them coming to my door accidentally mistaking me for Donald Trump and demanding I pay several $1 million in back taxes or some crap like that. So, what's wrong with training videos? I'll tell you what's wrong with training videos. It's wrong when they cost the U.S. taxpayer $60,000 to make two. Some of the worst videos ever made. What we got? Two in particular. One that was made as a Star Trek parody, and another as a Gilligan's Island parody. Well, let's take a look at both of them, shall we? So, supposedly these videos were made for some sort of conference that was held in Anaheim, California, for roughly 2,600 employees. The first Star Trek video was only about 6 minutes long, about a crew finding a planet called No Tax that had a horribly high rate of alien identity theft. Because it's not bad enough that the US government wants to take all of our money, no, they've got to create a Starfleet to go take it from the rest of the galaxy.
Back in Russia, I dreamed someday I'd be rich and famous.
Me too, that's why I became a public servant.
The Star Trek video was so appallingly bad, William Shatner himself took notice and said, and I quote, "So I watched that IRS video. I am appalled at the utter waste of US tax dollars." However, to the government's credit, the IRS did apologize for making that one. The second video, the Gilligan's Island parody, the IRS didn't want the information getting out about that one. They said that was totally legitimate and even went on to argue that it said it saved taxpayers $1.5 million by having the employees watch the 16-minute video rather than training the people in person. It is important to note, though, there were an additional 12 hours of actual training that went on, and this was rebroadcast to about 400 different locations. So, supposedly, the cost of gas, food, hotel rooms, and travel is where they generated the $1.5 million of tax revenue that they saved. So, if everyone's to understand this correctly, including myself, basically, we spent $60,000 for about 4,600 people to have a laugh at 20 minutes worth of video. Okay, if you're gonna spend $60,000 just for the sake of entertainment, hire a motivational speaker that's good at throwing in some laughs, or get a comedian that talks about the government and the IRS and how horrible some of the processes are already. And then rebroadcast that to everyone. No? Okay, I guess it's just crappy parodies. It wouldn't be so bad if this wasn't the first time the IRS way overspent on training conferences. Back in 2013, Ed O'Keefe reported that starting in the fiscal year of 2010, the IRS spent approximately $49 million on 220 conferences over a 3-year period. But hey, we saved about $1.5 million thanks to those videos, supposedly, so good job. Or not, you blundering buffoons. I mean, I could understand if this was some private institution that wanted to spend its own money and create these videos, but it's the government and the IRS that decided to spend our tax dollars to make this crap. I mean, what? $60,000 is approximately, what, 2 lower income families makes over the course of the year just so a few people can get a laugh, and then trying to argue that you saved 3% over a 3-year period? I mean, good grief. It'd be as if I went to college and my parents lent me all the money to go do that, and then at the end of 3 years, when they expected me to be my junior year, they come up to me and say, "Hey, how's the studies going, son?" And I say, "Well, you know, I actually dug that way back in the beginning. I took some philosophy class and it bored me to tears, so I just spent it all on drugs and hookers and things like that." Cool, right? No, my parents would beat me until I was black and blue. What? And we expect that the government can just apologize, like, "Oops, sorry, my bad," and that's all we get from them? You people out of your damn minds! Ugh. This irritates me so bad it gets under my skin. I can just... What? Blazes knocking on the door. What the blazes do you want? Excuse me, are you Donald Trump? Really? Do I look like Donald Trump? Do I have a big yellow fake toupee that I can swirl on demand? Well... Do you really have to think about that? This is the address that I had for Donald Trump, so I guess you're just playing a joke on me, so I'll go along with it. Well... Unfortunately, Mr. Trump, you're $7 million short on your taxes this year, so I'm going to have to ask you to come with me. Yeah, sure. Wait right there. I'll be just a few minutes. I've got to go tell everyone on The Apprentice that I won't be here for a while.
6.5 hours later.
I don't think he's coming out. La 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 la. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, want to see something improve, consider donating to my Patreon. A couple bucks a month goes a long way. See you soon.